Welcome to another episode of Live with Lizzy, coming to you straight from beautiful Boston, Massachusetts. Today, I'm going to be reading to you from my new book, Give It a Home, available on the Barnes& and Noble website. Please go grab one. And I'm going to be giving some backstory as it comes up for some of the poems in this book. So I'm excited to share some of that with you today. So here we go. Chapter 1, My Life is Crumbling. So the general arc of this book goes from me losing a lot of the things that felt stable in my life to me finding new places where stability can be had. And so we start at the beginning where everything is falling apart. Saltwater. To ease the hook out of your bulging jaw, I would show you the scar that sits in mine. Grew up with folks who went against the law. Yes, they taught my young body how to fight. To ease the harpoon out of your tight fist, I would display the calluses in mine. I'd reveal all the things I had to risk, and also all the gold I got to find. To haul your anchor up from dragging ground, I would teach you a way to coil the chain. I'd show you how it makes a joyful sound, how good oil prevents creeping rust from rain. To ease the salt water taste in your mouth, I'd tell you something sweet to flush it out. So, the deal with this poem, this is actually one of the last poems I wrote in this collection because I wanted to give some sort of clue that we were about to take a journey and that I was going to be talking a lot about myself. So I wanted that to be clear right from the get-go, hence that first poem. Moving on, number 2, Southpaw. My hands are working creatures, grizzled beasts. They bear the scars of learning from the whip. My palms hold telling marks, burns in each crease. These bold storylines, are they flaws or gifts? My hands have equal capability. I reach with whichever one is closer. The right, the left, it's all the same to me. I'm trending southpaw as I get older. These hands are good at finding what I need. They fill up like a cornucopia. And once I have enough to stop the bleed, I'll share what I have left over with you. How powerful a pair of working hands, executors of carefully laid plans. So this poem I wrote when I was working at a local bakery, and I was noticing how my hands were getting really calloused and really burnt and really scarred over time as I worked in that bakery. And I also noticed that as I got more skilled at bread shaping, I became more and more ambidextrous, and I just thought that was an interesting thing, and ended up putting it in a poem. 3. Dream Girl. I found a tree and laid down underneath, to rest a while, to stretch after my shift. Observed as pollinators moved through leaves, sweet sunny honeybees in breezy drift. When limber time was done, I headed home. I had a polite exchange with a cop. White privilege is weed in your pocket while knowing your blood's safe, each single drop. I've sinned so many times and not been seen. No one suspects this sweet, trustworthy face. Sexism is when you're a gorgeous dream, despite behavior that should bring disgrace. I found I get to do just as I please, as long as folks picture me on my knees. So this one, also from the time I spent working as a baker, it was a physically exhausting job. And as I was acclimating towards the beginning of my time there, I found myself so tired at the end of my shift that I would actually go to the park about a block away after my shift and fully lay down and do some yoga in the park to recover from the day's work before I walked home. It was a really physically taxing time in my life, now that I think about it. 4. Blood drive. I gave blood once in high school at a drive. They set up in the gym for convenience. I thought, this is a way I can save lives. I sat, the needle went in, barely winced. I did fine right until I stood back up. The world narrowed, a black tunnel so small. My eyes rolled back, dropped my apple juice cup. Somebody standing nearby broke my fall. You have to cough, I heard from far away. I found myself swimming in sunken place. I hacked a little, found it cleared my gaze. I blinked until I saw a concerned face. The friend on whom I'd always had a crush. He caught me when I passed out. What a rush. This is a true story. This really happened back in my, I think it was my junior or senior year. It must have been my senior year because I would have had to be 18. And yeah, I gave blood towards the end of the day. I was pretty tired, maybe hadn't eaten enough. And as soon as I stood up from giving blood, just went right down to the floor. But yeah, I woke up to a friend of mine I had had a crush on from about sixth grade up until then. He was the one who was helping me, and it was just a really wild kind of cinematic moment. 5. Silverfish. Oh, little silverfish, I feared you so. When you showed up in my childhood bedroom, I asked my mother to please make you go. Predictably, her thoughts were caught in gloom. You have to clean, they like a messy space. A buck passer right to the very end. It's hard to meet complex problems with grace. Why not just grab reality and bend? They like a broken home, the silverfish. They get in through the holes in walls, you see. They mind no broom or fervent, fearful wish. They saw the gaps and came to live with me. A silverfish loves tropical climates. I spoke my fear. No one seemed to mind it. So, this poem is about growing up in a very old house. Uh, the house spent my childhood in was built in, I think, the 1930s. And by the time I was living in it, it definitely needed a lot of work. So we were doing a lot of digging of foundations and a lot of upheaval in our yard that resulted in a lot of bugs kind of making their way into our house. And as a small child, that was just the kind of the worst thing ever for me. Uh, yeah. So, yeah, and I had a pretty strained relationship with my mother even back then, and um, unfortunately, she did not seem to be that concerned about my fears. She seemed more interested in uh, other things. Number 6, grenadine. Grenadine girl, pomegranate and bloom, not cherry like most people seem to think. I swirl into your cocktail with a swoon. I swim among the ice cubes in your drink. But if you cut me up, I'm a grenade, so much less sweet when I am incomplete. I just want to exist how I was made, my crooked cowlick, my super wide feet. Oh, leave me be or let me be sugar. I have no desire to bring destruction. I'll come together with you, my lover. I seek ingredients that complement. The spoon slides in, it stirs us all around. What drink is poured out? What new thing is found? So, this one is inspired by the years I spent as a bartender. I used to make grenadine from scratch at one place I worked, and it was only once I worked there that I learned that grenadine isn't just cherry juice, it's actually pomegranate juice and a little bit of orange flower water. Um, so that's that explains that mention. And this poem I wrote when I was going through a lot of struggle at that bakery I was working at. I was getting moved into a position I wasn't as good at, and I was having a hard time making it clear that I shouldn't be in that position. So I was finding myself misplaced and mislabeled, and really struggling to figure out a way out of it. 7. Leaves. The leaves grew large when I was not watching. Just small buds the moment I looked away. Now flaming bright in sunshine. Bees won't sting the folks who sit beneath this verdant shade. The leaves don't mind my curious green eyes. They love the folks who look a bit like them. They shimmy in the wind to my delight. They're just as gorgeous as me and my friends. The leaves have their designs, as do we all. They have intentions that we do not know. A leaf's purpose to guide summer to fall, to sing so soothingly as high winds blow. When leaves grow large, we love them well for it. Lean close, breathe deep, enjoy the oxygen. I wrote this poem after one of those times when I left my exhausting bakery job, laid down in the park to do some yoga, and I was just staring up at the tree above me and noticing how big the leaves had gotten since the beginning of that season. And just thought it was really cool. Noticing in the square. A man, unhoused, holds newspapers to sell. Bronze statue of a dog shows off bright nose. Sustained jubilant tones from a church bell. Subway station where people come and go. A fence that needs some mending in one spot. Buds elbowing their way out from branches. A kid tying their shoelace in a knot. Irish bar years ago I took chances. A couple holding hands who look my way. The movie theater with the seats so steep. I notice things because I am okay. I'm so damn safe that I'm not scared to speak. I think I know the thing I'm looking for, but of course, my heart is open to more. So I wrote this poem in Davis Square, which is an area in Somerville, Massachusetts. Um, it's an interesting area. It's got a lot of characters, one might say. Uh, I have spent time there in various phases of my life as a really irresponsible college student and as a struggling 20 something, and later on as a more responsible but still struggling 30 something. And yeah, it was interesting to be in that space and be regulated and not be scattered the way I was in my 20s. And I was just so strict. I was stricken by how much more around me I noticed than I used to when I was younger. Nine, root beer. A slow meander home past bright flowers. The blooms smell improbably of root beer. They are all mine these warm afternoon hours. Each day I leave my work and find them here, tucked neatly between sidewalk cobblestones. These messages in bottles each tells more. Small secrets meant to be witnessed alone, which find their way together into lore. The flowers really did smell like root beer, all sassafras, wintergreen, cinnamon. A fine reminder, all's not what it seems. It's good to use all senses to listen. To roam without a care is luxury, a gift I worked so hard to buy for me. I swear to God, the flowers really did smell like root beer. It was so weird and so unexpected that I just had to write it down because I just couldn't believe it was true. 10. Sundress. In throes of hope, I bought a short sundress, the kind that's meant to show off summer skin. I felt the urge to wear a little less, to hike up the hem of my skirt a bit. I made my world a safer place to live. These days, there are no crowds of groping hands. I can look cute, but still not have to give a single person who wants me a chance. And when I meet someone who fits the bill, I'll make damn sure they know just what I like. The whole point of being a dress to kill is having so much fun you want to die. I found that when I wear a short sundress, 1,000 people want me to say yes. So, about a year ago, I became single after a long relationship. And uh, after being very sad for a while, I got back out there. And something that surprised me was like, oh, Like, I'm not hideous and unlovable. People are attracted to me. Like, maybe everything is gonna be fine. And it was, and is. 11. Butter, Part 1. I want to melt into you like butter. Oh, hear the way I soften with a sigh. I want to be your craving to smother. Rest puddled in a heap in warm daylight. The god of sun may lay his hands on me. His touch, it finds no defense from my dress. The places where his fingers wander gleam. Widening golden swaths cover my chest. A field of hay beneath my lazy bones. 1,000 souls rest deeper in the dirt. I'll take my measure of the warmth that glows. I will not rush my dive into the earth. For now, let us swirl into each other. I'll be the honey, you be the butter. So I was experiencing some newfound body acceptance while I was writing this poem. I spent a long time really policing what I looked like and feeling like that would somehow protect me from getting hurt by the world. That's not true. Um, and around the time I wrote that poem, I was starting to let go of that, and it felt really good and still does. 12. Lamp. Bronze lamp forgotten downstairs in the rush. It burns, then flickers, then becomes the night. Brown banister, it knows nothing but touch. Some hands hold it so gently, some so tight. Brass doorknob, burnished by years of living. The sentinel that watches as we move. It does nothing to reveal misgivings. It makes no effort to cause harm or soothe. Bright candles in a silver chandelier. They are the only remnant of the sun. Draw a circle wide with salt and have no fear. You are safe and there's pleasure to be done. Broad hands on my back as we slowly sway. I've been looking forward to this all day. So this was more of a venture into fiction than I normally do. Normally, my poems are based on something that happened in real life, but this was, I guess, more wishful thinking. I was feeling very single at the time, and I think it shows. 13. Birdsong. If you're outside and you can't hear birds sing, best take a beat, kid. Cast your eyes around. There's something wrong if song isn't ringing. There's danger afoot when you hear no sound. Where flocks don't feel it's safe enough to wing, take note and take a hike. Get safe, get gone. The birds are creatures who will tell you things if you would listen closely to their song. Birds, they will flee from danger as should you. The air is a highway to good freedom. There is no honor in holding abuse. Better to take flight, wonder at the sun. The birds will go where it is safe for them. You have the exact same right, my dear friend. So I wrote this poem after I got kind of suddenly let go from that bakery job because I wasn't good at the thing I tried to tell them I wasn't good at. Um, so I was kind of trying to figure out how I felt about that, and I realized that there was no point in trying to be somewhere that I didn't fit in, even if it was somewhere familiar. Bumble Death. Fair death, a humble bumblebee sails by. She doesn't lose her stinger like the rest. This bumblebee is with you when you die. She whispers, this is only the next step. This bee will flee her hive to rove the earth, nibble lush clover, sip honeysuckle. Her wings remember how to find return. On her way home, she stops, tastes a truffle. Beautiful death, she brings change where she goes. She heralds an old thing yielding the new. The breeze is where the bumblebee can flow, can drift along, a light upon a you. This fuzzy little bumblebee, she stings, yet look at the raw strength her venom brings. So, again, I was feeling my feelings about getting let go from that job. And, it also happened during a time of year when, the whole world is warm and bright and full of possibility. So I guess I was trying to combine those two ideas of a sudden loss, but also everything around me is saying that it's going to be okay. Cabin. The storm gathers as we run for cover. There is a cabin not far off, I heard. The lock on the door is busted, my lover. We are not breaking in, the line is blurred. We need a place to hide from blackened clouds. The door creaks open just as the skies weep. Tell me your secrets, thunder drowns them out. If I confess, will you be mine to keep? The rain assaults the windows, beating fists. It hurls itself against the heartless panes. No matter how it threatens, we resist. Rain can't find us, it does not know our names. This cabin will do for the night, I'm tired. Please, my darling, would you build us a fire? I think this is one of the poems. Goodness. This is one of the poems I have written that actually is better on the page than spoken because it relies a lot on where the quotation marks are for it to make sense. Um, so it's intended to be a conversation between two lovers who have kind of stolen away somewhere, maybe off in the fields, and a storm happens upon them, and they have to figure out what to do. And it's a little easier, I think, to see that when you can see where it's divided up with quotation marks. But I still like it as a spoken word poem. All right, now we're on to chapter 2, titled "Maybe Dating Will Help." This was me trying to just get over my old relationship a little too fast and jump right into dating again. And I'm sure you can all imagine that went perfectly, and there were no errors made and no poor decisions either. So here we go. Summer romance. A summer romance feels like what I need. I wish for sunset walks near the ocean. A kiss with someone who's real sweet to me, who looks my way and just can't help but grin. A summer romance feels so damn deserved. My body really wants some hands on it. I want to lay back, just get fucking served. Let someone take care of me for a bit. A summer romance doesn't have to be the center of my life, just something fun. Some time under the clouds, two laughing free. It really doesn't have to be the one. I'm ordering up a summer romance. Just one request, someone who will slow dance. So yeah, I was pretty focused on finding somebody to be with at that time. Um Probably could have stood to focus a little more on myself and you know, my own qualities I wanted to work on, but hindsight is 2020, right? Small talk. Do you believe that small talk can exist where thunder is a thing easily found? I lit a candle, burned up all the lists. Turned out I knew the thunder by its sound. The estuary cannot be the sea. A calm pond only knows its tiny home. There is a broader version of my need. I cannot meet it with my hands alone. A thunderstorm at sea is perilous. The tallest ships are first to be struck down. I have no fear. The waves won't come for us. The lightning will miss. Thunder is just loud. Small talk is safe, but it lives on the shore. Sometimes the heart just wants a little more. So this is from when I was on Hinge and just not really excited by the conversations I was having. I felt like everybody there was pretty nice. I didn't dislike the people I was talking to, but I just didn't feel the spark of connection that I was looking for. The water in the well. I see the water down inside the well, so cool and blue and lucid as a dream. When I look at the water, it's my hell. Sometimes I feel like everyone agreed on what we have to do to haul buckets up to the surface so we can slake thirst. To someone like me, it all seems like luck. Not knowing how to get water's the worst. Not sure if it's that I'm too good or bad, too boring or too intimidating, too capable, too strong, too fucking rad. Wish water was rideshare, I'd get ratings. Who wrote the rules for drawing from the well? Do they feel chatty like they want to tell? This poem came after one guy rejected me for saying I was a bunch of really good things. He said that he said I was really smart and pretty and possibly a genius, but he didn't want to date me. So it was pretty confusing, and that's where this poem came from. Sit on back. I want to feel like I'm captivating, like I'm the only thing worth looking at. Don't want someone who craves me for mating. I won't deep clean your house, no thanks to that. I want your eyes to rest gently on me because you seek the way I make you feel. Your eyes following where my hair falls free. Your heart convinced this might be something real. I want to be the one who gets approached. I hear I'm intimidating, I do, but that's just because this girl is the most and I know myself all the damn way through. I think I'm going to sit on back and wait. Let's see what wanders my way through the gate. So this came from me deciding to stop being so goddamn thirsty and focus a little more on myself and a little less on who was going to say they loved me and thus make me worthy. I was starting to get there. Heat. A single bead of sweat born on my neck, slow trails one finger gently down my spine. Each vertebra, a hill, a little test. Each space between, a sweet valley divine. From whose hand does this finger branch away? They stand out of sight. These eyes cannot see. I feel their touch on melting summer days. I do not have to seek, they come to me. A sudden shiver as the wind picks up. A cool breath whispers softly in my ear. Oh, come with me and sip the loving cup. There's room right next to me. Oh, come sit near. Breathe in, breathe out, a small pause in between. This is a new touch. Find out what it means. I was horny. That is all. Butter, part 2. Come, celebrate the warm afternoon light. It finds no barrier at the window. The sky yawns wide, jaw unleashes the bright. We're up so very high, soft grass below. The heat travels quite far to be with us. It yearns for light years, then it finds our skin. It rides here on a galactic school bus, sunbeams like children talkative within. Oh, please, slather dripping sun like butter. Whatever gods are in charge of these things, make us sweat deeply into each other, erase the memory of wedding rings. The afternoon is warming at our touch. Don't worry, there's a shady spot for us. This was another wishful thinking poem that I wrote in, probably June or July of that year when it was really warm and sunny. And yeah, I was just kind of hoping for things to happen. Bubbles. The bubbles rise seemingly from nowhere. They crowd together as they seek surface. Air travels through water. While it is there, it shares that there are other worlds than this. Expanding outward in all directions, the bubbles join to form a common cause. They pool an oasis of connection. Now I can finally breathe, take a pause. Two bubbles soar above the rest of them, a spiraling dance racing in joy flight. A new thing growing, some new life within. Sweet man took me to see Rufus Wainwright. The water's not my home, it is the sky. Do I have company for when I fly? So, I need a sip of water before I explain this one. So this poem is inspired by a really nice guy that I met on Hinge, who I went out with a couple times. And yeah, he actually took me to Rufus Wainwright. and it was a really good show. And yeah, I thought that it might be something. I thought it might be a good match. I was starting to feel hopeful, and then he was the one who actually told simultaneously told me I might be a genius and that he also couldn't be with me. So it was a weird ending to a short, uh, not so torrid affair. All right, a few more for you. We're starting now into chapter 3 titled Dating Didn't Help. Now what? Unsurprising to anyone. Sunrise. When there feels like there will be no sunrise, remember you will always be okay. When you cannot clear the dust from your eyes, remember that your strong feet know the way. When gravity feels like it has a grudge, remember how you used to walk so light. When all you need is one long, warming hug, remember you no longer need to fight. When you feel like you just can't stand yourself, remember that it's okay to sit down. When everything is on the highest shelf, remember that a ladder is allowed. When your mind cannot puzzle what to do, remember I will come to be with you. So this was me trying to self-soothe when I was simultaneously dealing with losing my job and losing my long-term relationship all at once. Uh yeah, I was looking for comfort and wasn't sure where to find it. And that's where this poem came from. Little Spider. I spun a thread of luck, twisted it tight, arranged it in a web with my strong hands, so in the dark, dissociated night, I'd have a sturdy, softened place to land. Oh, little spider, rest your weary paws. Did you know they have sweet, soft kitten feet? You followed every letter of the law. You did your best, but sometimes you get beat. That's not today, sweet spider babe. Hell no. This day your web will hold you safe and sound. You have the space and energy to grow. You find yourself so high above the ground. To wake from sleep and open all 8 eyes. Exhausting, scary, validating, wild. I saw a picture of what spider feet look like up close before I wrote this poem, and they really do look like little kitty paws. It's they're pretty cute up close, horrifying in full form as spiders, but their feet are cute. Um, yeah, this poem I wrote after I moved into the place I found after my long-term relationship ended. It's the the place I'm sitting in right now, actually. I'm up on a third floor, so it feels like it's a little bit separated from the city life below, which is really nice. Easier. My life seems to be getting easier. I'm getting more skilled at accepting help. These two concepts, they collude, that's for sure. I used to rely only on myself. Earlier in my life, that way made sense. I wanted to be cooperative, but my caregivers were incompetent and I was just trying to fucking live. Things worked better alone for a while, true, compared to harmful influences, sure. I have never been able to get that line without flubbing it. Maybe one day. But some time passed, I started to feel blue, and I began to crave a little more. Deep breath, reach out, and try it all again. Surely someone in this world is a friend. This poem is unfortunately based on true stories. Yeah, I did grow up in a pretty chaotic household that taught me that I should probably figure out my own solutions to my problems. Which, as we all know, as healthy adults, is not always the choice. Sometimes we have to reach out and ask for help. Um, and this was something I was starting to figure out as I wrote this poem. All right, one more for you today. I really appreciate everyone who joined to listen to me. It's such a treat to have you all here. So one more and then we'll wrap it up. I choose. I choose a bad day. Clouds gather at will. When I look for misery, it finds me. Gather a mighty wind that gives a thrill. Use it to scare the storm away with glee. I choose a good day. The filter snaps on. I notice only things that bring me joy. Had to grow new organs. Took me real long, but now I digest things that would destroy. I choose what kind of day I'm going to get. I think you'll find that the same is true for you. If you look for something, well, then I bet that people will do what you think they'll do. I choose. That is the burden and the gift. I lose when I think agency's a grift. This is something I have to tell myself almost every day, that I can choose to have a good day or I can choose to have a bad day, but whichever one I pick, I'm probably going to get. So, once again, thank you so much to everyone who joined today. I'm so happy to see you all here, and I hope you come back next time for another live session of some poetry. Have a great day. Bye.